What's up guys, YST here and welcome back to another Raid Shadow Legends video. And today, we've just been given the news regarding a new guaranteed legendary champion from Void Shards, which we'll speak about in a second. And also the 10x champions to coincide with the Summon Rush event that will be starting live tomorrow, December 16th, for the Nishak Vermin Lord fusion, where you will actually need to summon in order to get some rares and a potential in Dahlia, if you summon enough shards, to complete the fusion, right? As there's only 16 rares up for grabs, and you can't get any from being top of the leaderboard in some of the tournaments. So which champions are they? I guess we should start off with... We'll start with the guaranteed champion, and then we'll explain why I feel like they've made these 10x champions in the mix. Now, I'm not sure how I feel about this one. It is a Sylvan Watcher. We have been asking for guaranteed Sylvan Watcher champions. But it's going to be Ailil at the cost of 110 Void Shards in order to summon this dude. Now, let me know what you guys think. Is this somebody that you really want in this game? I know that loads of the player base and before some of the content creators was really underwhelmed with his damage capabilities in the arena. Now, on paper, he seems to be very strong, right? So we got an attacking of one enemy, steals all the buffs from a target for the first time this champion hits them with this skill, and this effect cannot be resisted, meaning that you do not need accuracy. And each subsequent time this attack will hit an enemy, no buffs will be stolen, instead the damage will be increased by 10% for each buff on the target. We then have a Pierce of Carapace, which can attack one enemy. I'm going to ignore Strengthen, Stone Skin, Increased Defense, and Ally Protection. And if this attack kills an enemy, fully heals this champion and places a Stone Skin buff on them for one turn. And then an AoE, and before attacking, removes any increased defense and replaces them with a decreased defense. Also removes any Strengthen buffs and replaces them with a Weaken for 2 turns. And also a very quirky passive here with the increasing of this champion's HP by 2000 and defense by 100 for every 1000 attack they have. And fills this champion's turn meter by 10% whenever they receive a buff. Now for me, what I've been seeing is he does fit into very niche teams, in particular scenarios in the top end of arena, from like some stuff that I've seen. But he just doesn't hit like a Void Legendary from what I've been seeing. And I would have loved the guaranteed champion to be the new one from the Knights Revenant in Georgid the Breaker, who absolutely wrecks from his damage multipliers. And what I've seen on like Hell Hades stream and some test playing from myself, he's very strong, and I would have loved him to be the guaranteed champion. But in terms of Ailil, the thing that I do have in my mind is, are they giving him as a guaranteed because he's going to get a buff in terms of his multipliers or the way that his mechanics work? And that's kind of something that I'm thinking might be the case. And if you do have Void Shard saved up, you're going for the fusion, I don't see why not you shouldn't go for a guaranteed Void champion. Like, if you've got 110 saved up, which I personally don't, he could be a decent one, I guess, in case he does get a buff in the future, right? The same thing that we're expecting with Fortis, I'm hoping as well. But I'm not going to kind of sway your opinions. It's completely up to you guys. I can only give my opinion on this champion from what I've seen. But if you have an Ailil and you do have some good experience with this champion, be sure to voice your opinion below. And I'll be sure to check out for that. As in my personal opinion, it's not somebody that I would personally go for anyway, on my account. But there you go. In terms of the 10x champions, which will be coinciding with that guaranteed event, it's going to be for sleepers. Now, I kind of believe that this will be because of the Sand Devil's Necropolis, where the sleep debuff seems to be the best way and probably the only way to take down this boss, unless you're using those revive and death strategies, allowing the boss to place the sleep on himself and dealing those crazy damage numbers in the times that he's under that sleep. So definitely two really cool ways you could go about this, but sleep is definitely the way to take down especially the lower floors if you're not using crazy endgame composition for stage 25. Now, which champions are these? Now, the first one is actually going to be Chagor from the Lizardman, somebody that I've been banging on about before the Sand Devil's Necropolis, as I felt like he was a really strong Doom Tower clearing champion, where he has a quirky passive where he instantly attacks enemies with a default skill whenever they receive damage from poison debuffs placed by this champion. So as you see here in the A2, he places a poison debuff for 2 turns, or 4 turns, sorry, so a very long duration here. And then he will lead in with the A1 ability, has that 75% chance to sleep. And the way that I've been seeing it work in the Sand Devils is when the boss is about to take that turn, he actually cuts in, places that sleep debuff, and gets you in that rhythm of the boss hardly taking a turn. So if you build him in the right stats, the right sustainability, and the right accuracy, he turns out to be one of the most wanted champions from the Void affinity here. Now, if you are going for Ailil, and you manage to summon a Chagor on the way, I think that'd be a very strong thing to get, right? So I think it's a really strong one to throw into the mix alongside a guaranteed event, and I can only applaud them for putting such a strong champion that I know loads of people are going for at the moment for the Sand Devils. Now, the next one is somebody that I really love in this game, and I would love to get him on the 10x event, will be Noct the Paralyzer. And I did actually try this champion on the test server. This dude blew me away, man. And for a very similar reason to Chagor, because while any target is under an ally protection, he has a chance to place a sleep debuff on the attacker. So let's just say with the Sand Devil, he hits your allies and they're under ally protection, and you might want to pair somebody like a Snake Track with Noct, right? You're able to place that sleep up so consistently, and he does place a sleep on the A2 ability that can place 2 poisons in the same skill set. So very, very strong, and I like this a lot, honestly. Ally protection of his own and a decreased accuracy on the A1 to mitigate the debuffs that the boss can place on you. So Noct the Paralyzer, definitely somebody that I'm after in this 10x event, as I will be summoning. Another champion, so we got a previous fusion, we got Gaius the Gleeful, one of the best bomb champions in this game. And he does have a sleep on the AoE, he does place bombs, which is pretty cool for Bommel for instance. And he can instantly detonate here and ignore unkillable, while having a chance to place bombs when he's attacked and instantly detonates them upon death. So I do really like Gaius the Gleeful, but if you've already got this champion from the previous fusion, it might not be somebody that you really need on your account, right? But a pretty cool one to throw into the mix. Now, I know a load of people are probably going to be interested in this next champion, so if we head into the Demon Spawn, we have got Prince Kaimar. You talk about dungeon clearing, Doom Tower clearing, PvP, and also the Sand Devil's necropolis. He places the AoE sleep. He does a reset of cooldowns to enable those crazy compositions in Poison Explosion and Seer comps. Great for arena, great for resetting cooldowns, and he's just a phenomenal champion. And I would actually love to have a second one on my account, and I'm pretty sure for anybody that already has one, would definitely also be chasing a second Kaimar, as he's somebody that you really want a dupe of, especially in the endgame. So really cool champ to throw into the mix. I love it. Next up here, we're going to have another champion we just spoke about, and it's going to be Sia from the Orc faction. Somebody that took me 3 years to get, and she's just a crazy bonkers wave clearing champion. And the way that this scales is like no other champion in this game for wave clearing. Comes down to this Karma Burn ability that can deal some bonkers damage, exceeding legendaries for wave clearing. We've got Weaken and increased crit rate, and also an extra turn mechanic on the Knockout A1, and a resist aura by 40 in all battles. But the main reason that you want this champ is the Karma Burn, which absolutely helps you carry through those Doom Tower and those dungeons. I'm heading into the Demon Spawn faction, the next one, another champion. This is a really strong one, guys. Very, very strong. It's going to be Ailil, the epic champion that's so strong for Dark Fate and Fire Knight in this game, and anywhere that you kind of look for turn meter manipulation. Because you do not even need to book this champion. You get her in that crit rate, attack 3 times at random, and decreases the target's turn meter by 25% on each critical hit, allowing you to keep that shield down or keep the Dark Fate under control. But the reason why she's probably in this 10x as well is because she does place a sleep on targets that get the drop defense. And then we've got an A3 ability, which is great for faction wars and wave clearing as well, which can ignore 50% of the target's defense. So, or should I say, places a sleep debuff for 1 turn on targets under the decreased defense, yeah. Ally faction wars in faction crypts by 50, very, very strong as well if you can't reach the accuracy stats on your other champions. And I'm pretty sure if you don't have an Ailil, you definitely want an Ailil, right? And guys, look who's in the mix. I can't believe it. If you guys have the Ultra Souls and you've got the blessing for Cornelia, Cornelia is now in this 10x event for you guys to go and grab up and get that Bommel 90 strategy going using the Carapace blessing. So very, very strong to put her in the mix. I love her for arena. You talk about Doom Tower bosses and just progression in general. You look no further than this quirky champion in Cordelia, who is my favorite epic champion in the game. We have an AoE sleep that can be replaced with a fear upon waking up, which is very, very strong because if you can place a sleep, they wake up, and now you've got the 50-50 shot to replace it with a fear. You can start to get yourself in a rhythm of having a 2-turn CC ability with the Piece of Deep. We've got a decreasing of cooldown on the A1, and also the sleep debuff and the quirkiness with the passive to be able to place a sleep on yourself, heal yourself back up with full turn meter, and take down those Doom Tower bosses. With a speed aura by 18% in all battles. But the main thing will be the sleep on the A2 for the Sand Devil's Necropolis for this 10x event. Now the final one, I haven't got too much experience with this champion, and it's going to be Chancellor Yasmin, who I feel like has a lot of capabilities, but just doesn't really stack up to what I wanted in this game. Now where is she? Is she a Bannerlord? I assume so. There she is. Chancellor Yasmin. Now she's got a lot of potential, but I don't like the way that this A3 works. Because she has a 50% chance of removing all enemies, or all buffs, sorry, then places a sleep debuff for 1 turn on all enemies who have active buffs. Now, if you are aware of the Sand Devil's Necropolis, because she places a sleep debuff for 1 turn on enemies who have active buffs, that boss doesn't actually have buffs, right? From what I remember anyway. So I can't see why this is going to be so useful. And in Arena, if it's only a 75% chance to remove all the buffs, where somebody like a Madame Ceres just strips everything and places a lot of debuffs on. So I feel like there's a lot of RNG in the Lunning chant, and I feel like it should have a little bit of a tweak to how this works. But she has a nice little heal here, and she does have an extra hit mechanic on a no active buff target. So there we go, guys. That is the guaranteed champion. That is the 10x champions. Let me know if you're excited to pull your shards this weekend, especially if you're going for the Nishak Verminlord fusion. And don't forget to check out my fusion planner that I released just before this video. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.